In today's episode, we are going to do something that I have never done before. And no, it's not wear my girlfriend's hat or tuck a button-up shirt into track pants. What it is answer some of your questions on Instagram. And instead of actually going through them and making sure that this is going to be a good video and selecting the best questions to answer, I am just gonna randomly select questions and hope for the best. I do need to make it crystal clear that anything I'm talking about or anything that I'm reading off my phone that are questions that viewers have for me, well, their views do not reflect the views of the channel. I do not personally promote the use of any substance, and people like to ask for my advice on substances for some reason. I can't figure it out. It literally makes no sense. Like, why on earth would they be asking me that? Again, I do not promote the use of any psychoactive compounds, period. This channel is designed for harm reduction, so I do need to make it absolutely clear that if I am going to be answering any questions off my phone, and say someone asks me about psychedelics, that when I'm reading that question out loud, the intent of that is to reduce harm. And I really hope that I did make that as clear as possible, that it's about education, and I hope it was really clear. Oh wow, this guy sent the exact same message 3 times, and he said, I am messaging you because I am stuck. I went through a breakup about a month and a half ago, and it's still affecting me. I have moments of stress almost like a tiny panic attack. That kind of happens. Now I really want to do shrooms or LSD because it's getting nice out and I have been stuck inside all winter. How does one prepare for a trip with the thought of a breakup in the back of your mind? Randomly, I'm getting some good ones here because I've actually been asked this quite a bit, and man, this hat is itchy. Essentially, don't trip. What are you doing? You can bet your ass that when you're in a trip and you feel like you need help, or you feel like there's someone that you want to call or be close to when things get challenging, you probably will either think of your family or this person, and that's gonna bring up some nasty thought loops, to say the least. There are 2 sides to this because some people claim that these experiences can help them get a new perspective on the relationship. But again, from the perspective of it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when you're dealing with such intense mind-altering experiences that can be so unpredictable, I would suggest that you do not have this trip unless you are feeling emotionally well. In other words, don't trip on psychedelics while you're still grieving the loss of a relationship. And even when you do think you're over it and ready to trip, you need to be super cautious and check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you have to recognize that maybe it could just be you wanting to trip and you're thinking that you're better when you're really not. Take it from me, it's not worth tripping if the possibility for it to turn out negative outweighs the possibility for it to turn out positive. In all capitals, brother, I have obtained forbidden knowledge that I observed in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensions. I am simultaneously aware of these dimensions in everyday life. It's very urgent that I reach out before it's too late. The human race needs to know, brother. I have the blueprint of life. I'm not laughing at you. We've all had these experiences. Honestly, a lot of people watching are gonna think this sounds crazy. But if you think this sounds crazy, then do not take acid, do not take DMT, do not take mushrooms. Do not take any psychedelic for that matter. Stay away from psychedelics, because I am not saying that everyone is going to, have these kinds of reactions. I'm not calling it crazy, but this is legitimately what you can feel like. I don't doubt that he has the blueprint of life. I felt like I had the blueprint of life. What I'm actually laughing at is how me reading this out makes this guy look crazy, when I actually don't think he's crazy at all. This is what it makes you feel like. You feel like you get these answers and you just want to share them with everybody, but then you go and share them with everybody, and it looks like this. People are not ready to be receptive of some of this forbidden knowledge that you can learn. I'm not saying that everybody gets forbidden knowledge, but I almost want to say, what's the point of tripping if you're not after the knowledge? It's freaking freezing in this basement. I hate recording down here for that reason. Olivia says, hey, so I had a bad experience with laced weed recently, and it was PCP. And I am now suffering from depersonalization / derealization, and it's ruining my life, LMAO. Why is that funny? And I'm totally in need of answers of how to overcome this, because as of right now I feel like nothing is real and I forget who I am, and I'm facing a full-blown existential crisis as a 16-year-old, and it's absolutely horrifying, and my therapists are pretty shit and I need help badly. I understand that you're probably only turning to me because you feel like there's no one else to ask this question to. The first thing I'd like to say is the chances of you actually having cannabis that was laced with PCP are extremely, extremely slim. People used to say this years ago, and for some reason, in some circles, it's stuck, and people are still perpetuating this lie that there's weed out there with PP laced in it. It's more likely to have PP in your weed than PCP, actually. Did you actually see someone put PCP in the weed? More often than not, what happens to people who claim they had laced weed is just, well, cannabis turned on them. Perhaps they're used to enjoying their weed trips, but for whatever reason, they had one experience with weed. Maybe they smoked too much, they were in the wrong set and setting, because keep in mind, weed is a psychedelic after all, and they had a really traumatizing, terrifying experience, and they just think it's because the weed was laced. And hey, maybe it was. Maybe instead of weed, it was actually a synthetic cannabinoid, which is crazy intense. Regardless, the real problem you're having is you're having an existential crisis and you're only 16 years old. I hope you realize now that as someone who's only 16 years old, you shouldn't be smoking weed. Not to sound like your parents, but your brain isn't fully developed yet. Hell, they say your brain isn't even fully developed till you're at least 25. So you shouldn't really be messing with these drugs when you're still so young. I'm assuming that since you're having such a crisis, you're not doing any drugs. But in the off chance that you are, the first thing you want to do is stop taking any substances. Now, surprisingly, if you look online, you'll see that cannabis, not laced cannabis, just weed in general, is a huge contributing factor to a lot of people who do have these experiences. And not only just weed, in fact, all psychedelics can cause derealization in particular as a side effect. And if you go beyond psychedelics and weed and just drugs in general, people can also experience depersonalization and derealization naturally. For some people, it's their body's coping mechanism when they feel overwhelmed with a lot of anxiety and stress. But anyway, I just want to quickly define what derealization and depersonalization are. Derealization basically is how it sounds. You feel as though nothing in your life is real. It's almost as though you're living in a video game. And as for depersonalization, it can feel as though the connection from your brain to your body has been severed. It's almost like someone's gone in and reset the Wi-Fi passwords, and you need those passwords to connect back to source. Now, personally speaking, in my own past, when I used to explore these substances, I experienced derealization myself after quite a few very intense DMT trips. Except at that time, I didn't even know that derealization was a real thing. In fact, I personally saw it as a hint that I was beginning to wake up and see reality for what it really was, that, nothing is real. In fact, it kind of helped me see that my ego was an illusion, it always had been an illusion, and my perception of reality was just that, my perception. Now, there might be some people watching who just have absolutely no idea what the effing hell I'm talking about, and you know what? Maybe I'm explaining this poorly, but what it comes down to is at the end of the day, we are limited because we can only see as far as our minds, our bodies, our brains can interpret. And no matter what, it's going to be an interpretation. For example, if there was only two people on this earth and one of them could see color and the other one was colorblind, how would they ever know who was actually seeing reality for what it was supposed to look like? How do we know right now that we're seeing reality for what it's supposed to look like? And the thing is, we don't know. Everything is an interpretation. Everything comes down to you. It comes down to how your body interacts with this universe. And there's a really good chance that the way that we see things happening and the way that we experience this world is very, very alien to what actually is. And we just have no way of connecting these dots because we're always trapped viewing this world from our limited perspectives. What I'm trying to say is we probably have no idea what real even means. We don't know what real is. But anyway, I'm totally going off topic here. The question that you have is, how do you get over these feelings? And I'm probably the wrong person to ask because, well, it should be clear that when I was experiencing this, I enjoyed it. But regardless, I do know what has worked for many, and the first thing that you need to do is your own research. What you need to do is become fully aware, and you need to fully understand what it is that you're experiencing. Because once you understand it, and especially once you go online and you see that other people have made it through this, a lot of the anxiety that you're feeling is going to lessen. Like the fear you're experiencing is going to be lifted. I'm sure that right now you have doubts in your mind that you'll ever be sane again. You may even feel like you're going more and more crazy by the day and that it's just a matter of time until you totally lose it. But what you have to realize is what you're experiencing is not dangerous. You're not going to go insane. In fact, what's going to happen is over time you are going to get better as long as you stay away from any possible triggers, meaning as long as you don't smoke weed, as long as you stay off drugs, as long as you put yourself in positive environments that are going to reinforce notions of, I guess, reality being real. I'm giving the worst advice. I'm trying to explain how reality is not real, and to get back, you've got to see reality as real. Wow, I'm an asshole. But you know what I mean. I'm just trying to give you another way of looking at it. And you know what? That's another possible way to get through this, is to stop seeing it as a negative and try to find some positives in this experience. And as I said, everything you're experiencing is temporary. It's going to go away. You're going to be fine. It's not going to permanently damage you. I know you probably think that I have no idea what I'm talking about, and you can't imagine how someone could relate to the way you're feeling, but trust me, there's tons of people online who could relate to you, and there's a lot of people who have, you know, gone off the deep end, and they've tried many drugs to try to heal this, and at the end of the day, they did come back, so you probably have nothing to worry about. I mean, you're going to come back, you're going to be okay. And when you do get better, you need to take the necessary precautions to ensure that you don't ever have this experience again, meaning you should probably stay away from cannabis. Even if you once maybe enjoyed weed, it's pretty clear now that it's not for you. Don't even for a second think that your weed was laced. There's a really high chance that this just happened from normal weed, as it has happened to many, many other people. And I'm sure a lot of them also thought their weed was laced. I think I'm going to answer one more. Hopefully this is a good one. Okay, it's a lie. I already read this one and I realized it was probably the best one to end off with, so this is the only one that's not totally random. Hi, I have a question/video idea. How do you know when you are ready to trip on a psychedelic? As someone who has dealt with depression and extreme insecurities her whole life, I've always been told to stay away from them till I'm ready. Well, I'm doing much better now, started meditating and a bunch of other stuff, so I'm on this personal evolvement path. But just when am I ready? And yeah, this is a very valid question, and it's something that I get asked a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people who are curious to trip. Unfortunately, this really isn't that black and white. It's not like leveling up in a video game where when you reach level 50, you can now access the psychedelic states. It's something that you are going to have to decide on your own. You need to do as much research as humanly possible. So the first thing you need to do is first figure out what the risks and rewards are and weigh them against each other, and come to terms with what it is exactly that you are looking to get out of the experience. Clearly there's something in the psychedelic realm that you think will benefit you, otherwise you probably wouldn't be looking to do it, or maybe you just think it'd be fun. I don't know. I can't come up with the reasons that all of you guys have for tripping, but the first step really is just weighing the risks and rewards, and then weighing them against how you feel, like knowing what some of the risks are. For example, one of the risks being the experience is unpredictable, and during it, you can get stuck in a nasty thought loop, especially if you are an anxious person, which could lead you to a panic attack. That being a very real risk, you have to think, am I in a place in my life, or am I at a spot with my anxiety, where if I get in one of these situations, I will be able to make my way through it, even if it is a bit challenging, but at least I'll be able to make my way through a difficult experience. If the answer is simply just avoid thought loops and don't ever have a bad thought, because if it does come up, then you'll be screwed, well then, yeah, don't trip. You basically just have to look at the risks and assess if you think, in a worst case scenario, you'd be able to pull through. And you also have to keep in mind that you 100% would have a trip sitter with you. If this is something you're going to do, you must do it as safely as possible. Again, I can't recommend anyone watching does trip or tries anything. This is fully on you. But what I can do is recommend that you follow as much precautions as possible to ensure that you do have the safest and most beneficial trip that you can have. If you think you can make it through the worst that the psychedelic can throw at you, and hell, a lot of sane people who don't have anxiety problems can't make it through that, then you're definitely ready. I mean, I know that's a very extreme way of measuring things. These are very extreme experiences, so it goes hand in hand, right? Extreme begets extreme. Now, there's obviously other ways to measure if you're ready, and there's other perspectives to take on this. I don't want to say this is the end-all be-all. This is just the first thing that popped in my head. If I could actually make a whole video on this, so I don't want you to think that this is the only way to measure if you're ready or not. It's just that this video is actually getting to the point where it's far too long, and I kind of have to bring it to a close. But anyway, that concludes this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure you hit that like button, leave a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell thing, because that really is the only way to be notified when I release new content. I'd also like to give a big thank you to everyone who is supporting us on Patreon. You guys are the reason that I'm able to even run this channel, so big thank you to everyone over here, and if you'd like to support the channel, check out our Patreon page. And finally, I need to let you know that I have just released a new video on my second channel, Swim, which kind of addresses this really huge elephant that's been in the room for pretty much ever. And also, if you have questions for me for the next Q&A video, please add me to Instagram and you can ask those questions on there, or you can just ask the questions in the comments. Till next time, take care guys, stay safe, always test your substances. Substance testing kit is in the video description, and I will see all of you lovely, gorgeous guys and gals in the next video. See you later, guys. Bye. This is how I end my videos when I'm absolutely exhausted. Okay.